Okay, I'm getting bored with my videos, so I'm gonna do one of these selfie things people do. Oh God. Today I'm going to talk about your 1999 oil change. A lot of people think it's a good deal. It is. You wonder why. Only reason people do it is to try to sell you something. Every place I've worked a lot of different places. They all drove me nuts. If I had to go back to those places again, I would probably shoot myself. And if I still worked for people like that, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be alive right now, because I can't deal with it. It's that bad. The reason why they sell you 1999 oil changes is so they can give you one of these. You might notice I kind of wrinkled it up and threw it in the trash, because that makes me happy, because I don't have to do these anymore. Somebody gave me this to go by on his $1,700 estimate, which was quite literally crazy. But anyways, I'm going to show you what these people do, these outfits, these corporations, these mechanic shops that are usually always owned by people who don't even get their hands dirty. They're in it for the money. That's what it's all about, the money. Pretty much whenever you do a 1999 oil change, what they try to do, a lot of mechanics don't even know this. Service pretty much knows it, and the owners definitely know it. And the service managers know it. The general managers know it. Whoever's in it. What they want to get an average of about $250 per estimate on a 1999 oil change. They want a mechanic to do oil changes, which I don't think I should even be doing, because my level of technical skill shouldn't be spending half of the day on an oil change. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. Anybody can do an oil change. Jiffy Lube can do an oil change. If your stuff's broke, I'll fix it. And basically the way I look at it is that these people created a false market economy. And a false market economy meaning that you bring a car in someplace, a mechanic, a technician has to try to find something wrong, and then you bring it to service, and service plays this game with people. You might think it's not a game, but it is. I've seen it. I've studied it. I've looked through all the stuff when I worked at places. I don't even want to mention the names, but I actually studied all the service stuff, and they got mad at me because I wasn't supposed to do that, because I'm probably not supposed to know what they know. As far as psychology goes, what they do most of the time is called projection, transference, and control. Okay, they try to project an idea into you. They try to tell you something and make you believe it, and they try to control the situation. And they tell you if they can't control the situation, everything's going to be out of control. So that's what they do. Yeah, it's a really interesting racket, and that's what it is. It's a racket, because, like I say, you know, if a plumber gets a call from somebody and says, "Hey, my plumbing's bad. I got water all over the place," or "my toilet leaks, come and fix it." Well, they go and fix it. They know what's wrong. They know what's going on. And yeah, if there's other things that are going on, they'll tell the person about it. Maybe they'll fix it, maybe they won't. But it just doesn't work like that in automotive. In automotive, you bring somebody a car and you try to find something that's wrong with it. And then you, as a technician, me as a technician, has to hand that off to somebody who can sell. Okay, in a real world, if this wasn't a racket, it would never have to be done, because the car sells itself. Okay, and if a person has an issue or a complaint, or just wants somebody to look at the car, look over the car, a technician can do that. We don't need service. Anytime you go to a corporation or a company, you go work for them, they tell them that you need service, or the business won't even be able to exist. It won't work because it doesn't work without service. Well, the reason why it doesn't work without service is because they created a false market economy. It isn't real. Okay? It is, but it isn't. There's a real gray area in there. And when something comes in on a 1999 oil change, yeah, I can find a bunch of stuff wrong with any vehicle. I can tell you things are leaking. I can tell you things that you could recommend to be replaced. I could tell you about things that are maintenance issues. The dealer might tell you for maintenance you might need to replace it. Sometimes it needs to be done, sometimes it doesn't. It's a really gray area. And nowadays, you know, when I do stuff for people, I got so fed up with the industry and the way they run this racket. I just fix what's broke. Unless they have a concern and they want me to look at something else. If I see something that's obviously bad, I'll say something about it. But most of the stuff that I used to write down and give to service to try to sell, I don't even bat an eye about it anymore. Most of it, I'd say 80-90% of it. A lot of the stuff I don't really think it needs to be done. I mean, the cars nowadays, they're only made to last 10 years, 150, 160,000 miles. And then they're junk, you know. After that, especially in the Rust Belt. After 10 years in the Rust Belt, driving these things in the winter, they're junk. They're falling apart. They're rusted to beat rust. And to get a car to live 100,000 miles is not a hard thing to do. You change the oil, you know, you do some little maintenance things on it once in a while, and yeah, it's going to last 100,000 miles. And after 150,000 miles, if somebody still wants to keep the car, they're limping it along. You know, you're rolling dice. I tell people that. They say, "Hey, how long is my car going to last? How long is it going to last before I have a problem?" I don't know. You're gambling. You're rolling dice. There's no way to know. Sometimes people make them last a long time, and sometimes they don't. A lot of that depends on the manufacturer too. You really do get what you pay for. So anyways, that's a little bit about that. I don't know if I should even be talking about this stuff, but literally the industry drove me nuts. It literally, I melted down my last job. I couldn't do it anymore. And I do a lot of stuff here because it's all I know how to do, you know, and I can't go back. If I try, it doesn't work out. I've gotten interviews from people before, and they always say, "Yeah, we could use a guy like you." Even if they don't need a guy like me, they want me in there because, you know, basically, they'll pay you to do oil changes, and I'm the guy that's going to make them money. So it really doesn't matter. You know, they're making money off of me. And yeah, I got another really good friend the same way. He just totally melted down. I mean, he couldn't do the job anymore. The stuff they try to make a technician do is ridiculous nowadays. I mean, this stuff people talk about, oh, it's illegal, and oh, you need to report something. I've never seen anybody get reported or fined for anything that any shop has ever done. ever. I don't know how the government can just walk right in and be able to bust somebody doing what they do. Yeah, a lot of it's real shady. I mean, I've been around a lot of shady characters. I don't want to be that way. I mean, if there wasn't anything for me to do in this industry, I would find something else to do. But people keep me busy. So I just keep doing it. I've tried other things too, and it doesn't pan out either. So I kind of feel stuck. But I'm actually comfortable with the work I do, and I try to do the best I can do. Honestly, I used to do better, because when you get old, you just start skipping things. I mean, it just happens. But yeah, I got a car here. I'm gonna walk around, and it's a 100,000-mile caravan. The guy brought it to me. I did brakes on it before. It's making a little brake noise. I took it for a test drive. I heard it in the rear. I'm probably gonna have to do something with it. I don't know if I did rear brakes on it or not. I know I did some brakes on it before. I don't know. I did some other things to this too. But I'm going to walk around it, and I'm going to show you all of the things that I look at if I was to work at a shop that I would give to service, so service could try to sell. And you can say what you want, you can call it what you want. You know, the way I look at it most of the time, hey, this person can get in this car and drive the car right now. You know, maybe I got to do some brake work, maybe I don't, but all this other stuff I'm going to pick apart on this 100,000-mile car. You might hear different though. If it's service, they'll try to sell it, you know, and whether you want to believe them or not, you know, whatever. You know, there's obvious things that are wrong with cars too, when they're puking oil all over the place or rattling like mad. Whatever. Yeah, most of the stuff I just don't even say anything. I just do what they're concerned about. You know, a lot of these people too, they take them and get the oil changes. They go get the 1999 oil changes. They get these write-ups with the highlighted stuff and listen to what they have to say. And sometimes they come to me and sometimes they don't. So yeah, the biggest deal is though that whole $250 per estimate. Anytime you get a 1999 oil change, that's what they're looking for. You want your $20 oil change, they want their $250. You remember that. So, and a trained technician will find more than $250 worth of stuff wrong with your car if it's got over 80, 100,000 miles on it. It will happen. Brand new cars, technicians don't want to even look at them. They don't want to do a $20 oil change on a brand new car. If it's still under warranty, if it's got under 40, 60,000 miles on it, that's just a waste of my time. If I'm a technician, it just pisses me off, and I got to do it because some service writer makes me, and that comes out of my pocket as a technician because I should be working on cars that are broke. And when you're working at these outfits that do this stuff, that's the difference. That's the difference between getting a $450 a week take-home paycheck and an $800 a week take-home paycheck. I have literally worked at a place where a service writer came in and he was like Mr. King, pathological lying sociopath, and he made me about $50,000 selling stuff on cars. You know, the cars needed it. They could have used it. They could have went without it. Whatever. I made $50,000. They got some other guy in there the next year. I got a $12,000 a year pay cut. That job didn't last for me. And it's all just a racket and a game. And you know, a technician has to deal with that game from service and from the owners just to make a living. It's a roller coaster. It's like a complete narcissistic roller coaster. If you ever had to deal with a narcissist in your life, that's what a technician has to put up with in the corporate industry right now, today. So yeah, I'm going to walk around this car, and yeah, gee, if anybody's watching, I just, you know, I hope you got a little sympathy for me, and you might understand why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, you know, because those places can make a lot of people mentally ill. And you could go get therapy, and the therapist is going to give you pills, and you could have anxiety going to work every morning. You might have to pull over because you're shaking so bad because you got to go to work and you got anxiety issues, and they'll give you medication for that too, you know. And you know, if your job gets to that point, just don't, okay? Go be a bum. Go live out on the street. You don't have to deal with these psychos and these therapists and these doctors. Just get out. Just go. Just put that business under any way you can, because the way it's going right now, they won't stop, because this false market economy needs to be that way in order for them to stay in business. Okay? If they can't create a false market economy, they cannot support themselves, because that is the way they manufactured it to work. It's like the dog getting the treat. Okay, you tell the dog to do a trick, the dog does a trick, you give it a treat. Well, now the dog always wants to do a trick to get a treat. Okay, that's exactly what this industry is doing right now today. So yeah, be cautious, beware, you know, keep your car running. I'm there for you, man. You know, I'm gonna put out these videos, and if you can do the work, you know, great. If you can stay out of them people, stay away from those people, and just do the stuff yourself, save yourself a little bit of money, and the only way this industry is going to get straightened out is if you do something about it. So, yeah, people are going to go broke. People are going to go under. People are going to go out of business. And I'm pretty sure if that ever happens, the ones that are going to be left are the people like me that are doing what I'm doing right now, because it's the only way to make an honest buck out there. Almost the only way to make an honest buck out there. You know, there's people that are plenty successful, that are doing really well for themselves, but most of them, no. And the worse it gets, the more they try to get out of you. So a lot of places it gets really bad, really bad. So I don't know if I've said too much. You guys can give me a thumbs down, you technicians that are getting spoon-fed at the dealerships or whatever, you know, the ones that are all super honest and everything's great for you, you know, hey, great for you. You know, that doesn't work for everybody. Tell you that right now. Some people have a very rough time trying to make it out there. And if you ever want to be a technician, work in automotive, working on cars, don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, it's a last resort, you know. That's why I did it. I was raised wrong. My cars were crap. My friends' cars were crap. I didn't have an education, and I just decided, hey, you know, I'm going to start working on cars. And I stuck with it. And I kept doing it, and I didn't stop. And it's to the point now where I'm really good at it, and it's all I know. And that's why I do it. But most people out there are a lot more privileged and a lot more fortunate than I am. And if you are, don't go to college for it. Just don't do it. Go do something else. Go be an electrician. Go be a carpenter. Go be a plumber. Automotive is a bad deal. It's a bad deal. Just don't do it. And like I say, some people out there might say, hey, they're doing great and everything's fine and they love their job and that's just great. But that's like the 1 to 5%ers in society. You go blow 40 grand in school on this kind of education, you're wasting your money. You're better off finding somebody like me, working next to somebody like me at some crap job and learning everything I know and taking that 40 grand and buying tools. That's your best education in this industry. It's not going to school dealing with a bunch of paper pencil pushing guys, okay? It's really not. All the information you need to learn is out there in the industry. That's 80-90% of everything you need to know. It's there. It's there for you. It's there for everyone. You go on, you go work for somebody and they got Identifix, they got Mitchell on Demand, they got something. You can read technical service bulletins, removal installation procedures, testing and diagnostics. You know, you go study for your ASE tests, which I think are kind of a joke. That's another establishment that just tries to figure out a way to make a buck. I mean, it's good for something because it tells you that you know something, but really that establishment it's kind of strange and shady in a way. But yeah, if you pass all the tests and you get your certifications, you do know something. I'll give you that. But I know too many people that are master techs and advanced master techs that can't fix a car. There are people out there that are real book smart that can do tests. Rarely do you find both. Most of that really, really good mechanics out there, I can't pass a test. I can't really call them technicians, but they're excellent, excellent mechanics. Me, I'm another one of them gray area kind of people. I've had 13 certifications in a lot of different things. Automotive machinist, master tech, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, mostly I just took those because every time I took a test, I got a raise or a bonus. So it gave me an incentive to just take the tests. And I took like 3 or 4 of them one time because I didn't have a job and I didn't have any money and I didn't have a life and I needed work. I needed to find something to do. So I did a little bit of studying and I took some ASE tests and I passed them. And I won. And I got a job right away, you know. A lot of these outfits, that's all they're looking for. Hey, are you certified? You call yourself a mechanic. You know, you need experience somehow. You need experience or education. You need both, really. And then you can take the test. You can even lie to ASE and tell them, hey, I work for these mechanic shops and they're out of business, and I did it for over 4 years, and that's my education, and you can take the test. You don't even need to go to school. And it's so easy to lie to them. It's ridiculous. I mean, that's why I kind of say it's kind of a shady establishment. But whatever, if you know the stuff, if you know the stuff, if you can do the job, you can do the job. You know, do it. I think I've said enough. I'm going to edit all this and try to make it work for something. But yeah, I'm going to go into this car right now and I'm going to show you what's up. Yeah, first thing you do, you turn the lights on, do a walk around, make sure they're good, check the wiper blades, good. The wiper blades, good enough, I guess. Check your side marker lights, check your headlights. Got a side marker light out, you mark that down, you hit the brakes, you check the brakes. Brakes are fine, they work. Brake lights, check the reverse lights. I'm not going to do because I'm too lazy for that stuff. Then you open the hood, you check the battery, you do a battery check, you do an alternator check if you want. I'm going to call that one fine just because I say so. The level on this is low, so it's got a small leak somewhere. It's got 100,000 miles on it, so if you use that much in 100,000 miles, I could actually find a leak somewhere and probably try to sell it. Of course, you always check the air cleaner because the air filter's a double markup, and it's good easy money. And yeah, there's fuzz and hair in it, so course, you sell one of those. You look at the belt, and it's down in there somewhere. I can't really see it with the camera, but I already looked at it. It's fine. I've seen them so horrible, and I let them go. It's just ridiculously stupid. I shouldn't do it, but whatever. Transmission lines. Yes, that is transmission fluid. It's leaking a little bit. If I work for service, I'd tell them, yeah, you need transmission lines, they're leaking, but it's more like seepage anyways. It's not really horribly bad, and I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't anymore. Brake fluid, yep, needs brake flush, yep, it's bad. And some people put that dip strip on you. They put a little dip strip in there, and they test the copper, parts per million of copper. Apparently, that's like the standard of the industry, is to see how many parts per million of coppers in your brake fluid. And if there's too much, and that tells you need a brake flush, well, the fun thing is the only copper that's in your brake fluid comes from the flux on the lines that's used to weld the line together when they roll it. That's where the copper comes from, the brake lines. So for somebody to say, yeah, you got so many parts per million of copper in your system because of a dip strip, you know, you just gotta go, oh, really? Yeah. What does that mean? Oh, it means you need brake lines? No. But yeah, it's a little dark, so if I do brakes to this, I probably will do a flush. It's probably never been done. I'm going to get this thing up in the air. And of course, you know, you check your oil, and yeah, present, it's got oil. I love this, you know, checking the transmission on these. Yeah, forget about it. There's a little cap right here. Let's see if I can get a look at this. On this band, there's a cap right here. And it says right on it, for dealer use only. You take it off, this is what you get. I think they got that idea from Mercedes-Benz. It's a joke. They have a dipstick, but you don't get one when you buy the vehicle. Freaking fun. Okay, I got this thing called a refractometer here. This is like the industry standard for testing coolant. It tells you how much, how concentrated the coolant is. I haven't used this in a dying day. You look through it, and it says it's 45 below in there. Let's see if I can. Oh, hell no. The camera isn't going to look into that. Here, let's see if I can do this. Ooh, there it is. Yeah, so, yeah, you see that? It's actually pretty good. I think I did a thermostat to this not too long ago, so I put like half good coolant in it. So, it's pretty good. I'm going to call it half good. It's half good coolant. Okay, then you do what they call a shakedown. Grab the tire and you move it side to side. Move it side to side this way, and well, he's got a tight front. I kind of shook it before I did this. Oh, he's got a leaky strut. Look at that. He needs struts. Okay, I'd write that down. That's going to cost him. That's an $800 job. Look, both sides, struts. Yeah, those got to be done. They leak. That's my money right there. That's my bread and butter. Okay, and then you go under the car. Of course, I gotta check the brakes because they're making noise. Yeah, I did these. I did these not too long ago, and they're making noise, so I'm probably gonna just slap a really nice upgraded set of pads on this for them because it's making noise. I'd probably put semi-metallics in them. Usually in the rear they're fine. Look at the rear shocks. Yeah, they're rusty. they're not really, yeah, they might be leaking a little, or they might have at one time or another. But yeah, sometimes you just write down that they're rusty. That'll keep service and the owner happy. That'll keep them from firing you, trying to find a guy that sells. Check for rattles. No exhaust rattles. Go under here, check for leaks. There should be a power steering leak somewhere. I don't see one. I don't see any leakage or seepage or anything. Wow. So yeah, that's what I'd tell this guy. He needs an air filter. I could have checked the cabin air filter if I actually felt like it. And he needs some struts. Air filter struts. Yeah. If service is actually good at selling stuff and making people believe they're going to die from a set of struts, that'd be all the money on this job right there. All the money. Okay, money. And then you do an oil change. Get it in, get it out, quick as you can. Get on to another one. Try to sell. You got to do at least 5 of those frickin' oil changes a day just to try to get a frickin' job. Okay, now I got the tires off so I can do the free brake inspection and free tire rotation. That always makes money. That's why they do free brake inspections. And you break out this little tool here. It's tells you how thick your brake pads are. Red is bad. Yellow is fine. But nowadays, like the smallest yellow one is 4 millimeters. I'm starting to get people are coming to me because they're actually getting recommended that you need brakes at 4 millimeters now. And that's like really shady in my book, you know. If you're down to 3 or 2 millimeters, yeah, you 2 millimeters actually lasts quite a while. But 4 millimeters, that's still a lot of pad. You could drive, sometimes people could drive for over a year on that. But yeah, this inboard pad, he's down to 2, below 2 on one pad. And some of these I've worked for, they say if you got uneven pad wear, you need calipers. And they're uneven, and that's usually bullshit. So there's a lot of things that can make uneven pad wear. I mean, really, a lot of different things. So, you know, when you do a brake inspection too, you pull in a caliper. Well, you try to. Hold on. I made a house call. Okay, yeah, you pull in a caliper, get in here with something, and you just want to make sure this works. Because if it don't, you sell them calipers. And yeah, some of these shady guys will try to sell you calipers anyways. They're beautiful. Yeah, I heard some noise out of these rears. I put them in here probably not too long ago, and I don't know, I probably couldn't find ceramics for this or something. I'm going to try to get some though. I like ceramic pads because they don't make noise and you don't get complaints. I don't care how good they work. I don't care if they don't work as good as something else. They work for me because I don't get complainers. Complainers are bad. Okay, yeah, I looked this thing over, sell them shocks and struts, and I'd sell them that light bulb and an air filter and some transmission lines, and that's about it. I could give that to a service writer and he'd be happy for me because he could try to sell something and make money, and then I could make money, and then the owner would be happy because he gets to look at his pie chart and make sure we're doing our freaking job. Okay, bye.